I mean, even yourself as members of the media, you said it's good to hear that we're a kangaroo court, but kangaroo court is that MK, where everybody is expelled without a due process. Who are they to lecture people about a due process? At the MK party, we read in the press that you are dismissed. You don't know when was the DC. They've not even gone to a conference to have a structured party. You don't know who you speak with there. Because if you speak to this one, tomorrow he might have left and dismissed. Now, we are told by political non-entities about how to run a party. I mean, when in a few months, they've not shown any of the good deeds of a good party in terms of governing a party. In the ANC, you've got a DC. Whether it's virtual or what, you are allowed to be represented. You are not just dismissed. And these people, they don't go to court to fight for dismissal. You are appointed secretary, you don't know who appointed you. And others, depending on your proximity next to Zuma, you can be something big without even campaigning in an election. Where was Lope? On door-to-door, campaigning for MK. Where is Jabulani? The man who started this thing, gave us trouble, went to the IEC, registered. I was with him in Bloemfontein. I was with him in Durban, fighting for the trademark. Where is he? He's in the streets, nowhere to be found, not even in parliament. He tried to go to parliament, they dealt with him without a disciplinary process. Now, we are lectured by these people. Please, man. Please, we're ready for anything. As the ANC, we're happy that we have reached this stage. We'll defend our actions and to the end in relation to Jacob Zuma. We believe politically and morally and otherwise we're on the right path. And like you said, it is a process that was dragging and dragging over time to the point where many in our organization believe that we are now making a special dispensation. And first, let's clarify the fact that the ANC did not charge a party called MK, charged Jacob Zuma. And that's what we are about in terms of the verdict. So if we had charged the MK party as a party, it will be something different. We charged our member, Jacob Zuma, whose membership was going to expire and up for renewal by December this year. So dealing with the Jacob Zuma matter has not been an easy one in terms of how normally you deal with people who behave like him as members of the ANC, who choose to leave the party and then form a political party and work against the party openly and decampaign the party. That's what Jacob Zuma has done. So under normal circumstances, we should have just said, he's gone, he's gone. The NEC reflected on the matter and took a decision that we must charge Jacob Zuma, which is what we have done. And this is the final part of it in terms of the charging of Jacob Zuma. We will not comment about unsigned documents that were circulated. We'll deal with that matter internally in the organization if there's any substance to it, because there's a lot of fake news flying around. Like that document, it was fake news because the real document came last night to us on the 28th, and that's what gave us this, that has given us a platform to basically communicate the outcome of the disciplinary committee as expected by the prescripts of the ANC Constitution. Notification has been done, the same as Zuma was notified about the DC, and he knew, and he sent his representatives to go and represent him in the virtual meeting and all of that. Even in terms of the outcome, as the prescripts of the ANC Constitution require, Zuma would have been notified. Otherwise, there will be no statement from MK reacting to fallacy and falsehood and fake news. So the statement of his political party reacting to the outcome, that signifies that he's probably aware and has been notified by the DC. So we communicate what is now in the public domain, and as required, the outcome in terms of the content of what were the arguments are equally public. So Zuko is required by the ANC Constitution to supply and to give you the arguments that were advanced for or against in public. We have given that information to our structures. We have informed the National Executive Committee as we speak right now. Everybody has got the right content in terms of the DC of the ANC. So you can look into that, Zianda, and see what arguments Zuma was advancing against what, to defend himself, probably through his representative. So I'm not his spokesperson. So the content of that is entailed in the whole verdict, a very comprehensive, of the National Disciplinary Committee. It's not a question, News 24, of time. You could have taken a decision at the right time. The odds were against you. The outcome will still be the same or different. We don't know. Other people were saying you shouldn't have taken Zuma to court to challenge the MK trademark, which on Thursday were in court to appeal and to fight for the logo of Umkhonto weSizwe, which Jacob Zuma have actually taken. So it is not a question of time. The behavior is the same. What we don't know is what will the behavior be if a decision of this nature was taken earlier on or during the campaign. But Zuma formed a party within 3 months, campaigned, declared that he will fight the ANC in the election. And that's what he has done. So will it have changed the situation for the better? Maybe it would have changed the situation for the better. We don't know. But the party remains. It is there, out there. It has got its identity. So we don't know why you have a party and then you argue for your membership. When you have taken a conscious decision to leave the ANC, you have impugned the integrity of the ANC. You have done everything. You have brought us below 40%, below 50%, and we're grappling with that now. So all of those things have happened. We're dealing with the consequence of Jacob Zuma's actions against the African National Congress. Zianda, I've answered your question. Arguments are there in the full verdict in terms of what Zuma was arguing for, which it is entailed there. Jacob Zuma wanted a movie in front of Luthuli House and so on, and he wanted this hearing to be public. That's what he wanted. Now, you can't go to court and they tell you that you are we're going to conduct your hearing virtually, and you say, no, I'm not coming, and easy. I want it to be in this fashion and that fashion. The most important thing, if you've got integrity and you've got cogent arguments that you have not contravened the rules of the ANC as you have been charged under in terms of the Constitution, you can argue anywhere. It's not an issue where you argue, but we are not there. That's what he wanted. He wanted the movie, he wanted this thing to play itself out. He wanted the rally. Even when they were told that the disciplinary hearing is virtual, they still came here. And they knew that there's no DC at Luthuli House. So they still came here. So it tells you that Jacob Zuma wanted a movie. Now, he didn't want to defend himself against what he thinks it is right and argue in the DC and represent himself or through his representatives. So that's what he did. Lizeka, there are many people over time in the ANC who have been dealt with in terms of discipline, starting with the PAC and Sobukwe and them, and then come the group of 8. Omakiwan, they were expelled, the group of 8 from the ANC. In your history, post-1990, Bantu Olomisa was expelled from the ANC. Others expelled themselves. They didn't give us headache. They just left. Teralikota and them, they formed COPE and they left. So Jacob Zuma, as a high-ranking official in the ANC and having been the president, yes, that is what is new out of this experience. We never had a president like this. I mean, that is what is new. You know, when you have, we never had a Secretary General like Magashule. I mean, it shows you that the roof is coming down, where people at the highest level of the organization can be subjected to DC and even expulsion from the party. So they teamed up with Magashule in this election. The other one decided, I'll take this route, we'll meet in front. But others collapsed along the way. So only Zuma managed to emerge. So we have never had that in history, but not that high-ranking people in the ANC who were problematic at some point, others left voluntarily, formed organizations, others were actually expelled in the organization. Communication to the rank and file of the ANC is that, and members of the ANC, is that we live by the constitution of the ANC and the discipline of the party. And that's what is important. We say that it doesn't matter the rank, but if you break the rules and the constitution, you contravene, we've got the responsibility to maintain discipline in the party. And you'll be subjected to the ANC disciplinary process. And we didn't think that at any given point in time we'll deal with a situation like this in history of our former president to be subjected to DC. Not just that, to somebody who was part of the party to start a political party and do what he has done to the ANC and campaigned decisively against the ANC, like Jacob Zuma has actually done. We didn't think, but these things now have become normal, that anything can happen in a normalized political environment and democratic dispensation. So Jacob Zuma have just taken that decision to form a party and to work against the ANC. And the ANC is here to stay. Members of the ANC have got the responsibility to defend their party, their organization, and its integrity. And that's what is important. Mtila, I think I've answered your first question about physical or virtual. I don't know.